Hi, I'm James Genus, and this is J Ross TV, which I love.
What's up, y'all? This your boy J. Ross hanging out with the bass master himself, Mr. James Genus. Y'all in town at Powell Symphony Hall hitting with Herbie Hancock, man. But y'all know him from Saturday Night Live and a whole bunch of iteration and bands. And man, when you see this cat play, it's just something about his touch and feel. And we want to talk to him about that. James, hey, growing up, man, when you start playing, how did you develop that beautiful touch that you had?
I just practice. No. I guess throughout the years, just, trial and error and seeing what works in different situations and going with that. And then along the way, it just kind of developed into that.
Yeah. So in trial and error, does that mean like trying other guys' styles and incorporating them into yours, or what do you mean?
Yeah, kind of, what I grew up listening to, mixing all that stuff. Like I think we talked about once before. I grew up with Victor Wooten and all the Wooten
Right.
brothers, and just jamming and figuring out how things work, and throughout the years playing behind singers and instrumentalists and what
Yeah.
what sonically works behind them. How to fit in with what they're doing.
So what can you say like to a cat living in a small town, don't know anybody, the best bass player is a basement player, but he'll never have like access to cats like you and Victor and the rest of them. What can they do to like model themselves to become a professional?
They got the ultimate access right now, but I don't know if people of today use it like we used to use things. But you got YouTube. That's the ultimate like access to different situations and different things, and listening to records and listening to albums and seeing what works in a recorded situation and a live situation. You start getting your vocabulary and your language, and you can access that from what you've learned and seen.
Yeah, but can a cat actually establish a vocabulary by just YouTube, or do you recommend playing in a band?
I strongly recommend playing it, because it's almost kind of like the musician that goes to school to learn how to play music and never played live before.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work. It's almost like if you with any profession, you have to be able to apply what you learned in a real situation. So yeah, play as much as you can with different people on your level, but also above your level, so you can bring your game up too.
Yeah. So like now you playing with Herbie right now. You're on tour. You're in St. Louis right now at the Powell Symphony Hall. But you're the Saturday Night Live cat. What's the different attack in your brain when you play with the two different crews?
It's actually kind of the same thing that I'm tapping into, because it's all kind of like action reaction. Because with Herbie, it's action reaction because it's the music can go different ways, and you can take it different ways. Herbie can take it different ways. Being able to follow it,
Yeah.
and using your ears, and with Saturday Night Live, it's being able to like kind of multitask by playing, and in your in ear, you have like people are saying like go to this part, go to this part. Vamp or whatever, and while you're playing, you still have to be able to do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, people wouldn't know that.
Yeah, there's a conductor that's, Leon Pendarvis is the conductor at SNL Band, and he's, they have feed coming in that's telling, them like how many seconds are left or whatever, and so they're listening to that, and then they tell us like, okay, we go back to top or vamp a little bit or go here, so all that's going on
Yeah.
like that.
So your ability to be able to read music plays what, like 100% part in that?
Yeah, it plays a big part.
Yeah.
being able to read music and being able to jump around and follow directions while you're reading the music.
Yeah.
And interpreting the music while you're playing it, making more out of the notes that are just on the page.
Yeah, see, now a lot of cats be interested in what you use. Now, we know you use Federa, and we was talking earlier,
Right.
and I asked you, why did you choose Federa? You can tell cats.
Well, I chose Federa because I feel like they're personable with me. I can always, get in contact with them. If I have problems with my instrument, I can take it to them. They can tweak it up for me, and they're always trying to like find the perfect sound.
Yeah.
And they're just they're bass makers and they're quality bass makers, and I love it because I was strictly like Fender, Fender Jazz, Fender Precision, all that, and Victor Wooten turned me on to them back in when he first got his, and so when I moved to New York, I went to the shop and then I had one made and I fell in love with it. Yeah.
So do you find it can perform in any situation that you needed to?
Yes.
More so than the Fender Jazz?
Yes. I mean, because I feel like it's not about the instrument. It's about, for me, it's about the strings. So like with a four string is a four string. Like I always feel like that's the perfect like slapping bass.
Yeah.
Four string. But the 5 is just as good. 6 is good too. All of it can get the sound, but I've done some sessions and people have had me bring like all these different basses, and I kind of start with the Federa, and they'll say, "Oh, can you get this vintage? Can you bring the vintage bass, the vintage precision, and can you play it? Because that's the sound I want." And blah 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 blah. And sometimes I do that, and then they'll say, "Can you play the other one?" Which is the Federa, and then sometimes I'd say a higher percentage of the time they go with the Federa, but unless it's something specific like a Hofner, that has like a really distinct like kind of sound. But you learn throughout the years how to like get different sounds out of the bass,
right?
To get the sound that people are looking for.
Yeah, 2 more quick questions. We're going to let them roll, y'all, because James ready to grub. It's about time for dinner. But, hey, like Cats, man, what can you say to establish in like a bass, not a guitar, but a bass in their playing to become one day a professional where they might be able to play Saturday Night Live after you retire?
Reading is a plus. I mean, reading is not even a plus, it's a must. And being able to groove and being able to play with other musicians, like being able to take that groove and apply it and groove with a drummer, or groove in the rhythm section, because that's what it's about. You have to make, especially like with the SNL band, with any band, you have to make the other people feel comfortable about playing, and not distract what's going on musically within the band to satisfy your own needs.
So like now, last question, money, like now you probably getting paid Saturday Night Live. We won't talk your business, but like cats who try, like I said, trying to get where you are, man, and say they reach that point. What can they do with their money so when they turn a particular age, man, to where they don't have to be doing it when they 60 unless they want to?
Bob Cranshaw, rest in peace, he always said that you could take, even if you're making like local money or gigs that aren't through the union or whatever, you can actually join the union, and I think you can take money out of your money that you make and make your own like contribution to your own like pension,
right?
So it's basically like taking aside some money and putting it away. But
that takes a lot of discipline.
It does.
Yeah. most cats don't have that.
I mean, and for me, it's kind of like I don't even think in those terms because they take it out for you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you don't see it, then it's good.
Yeah.
But maybe just try to take like a small percentage of your money if you can, because I know bills have to be paid. And you got to take care of them families.
Oh yeah.
And them kids.
Side chicks, all that.
But yeah, just think long term and like putting money aside. Yeah.
All right, y'all. This is James Genus. Y'all here in St. Louis. We chilling at Powell Symphony Hall. He getting ready to hit with Herbie Hancock tonight. I want to give him a shout out for always looking out for J. Ross TV, and just appreciate him, man. I love his plan. I love his spirit. We 10 million strong, y'all, and we gone. Peace.
Peace.